listeners to YYZ Video, your film book club of choice. A friendly reminder, as always, that Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ lives matter. LGBTQ plus, that is. This is Press YYZ's bi-weekly movie review show where we take a film series, we're starting with Pixar, and we go through and we rank them. I'm your host, Mr. Mitch George, and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts. He's a master on them edits, Mr. Shotgun McPain, aka Nicholas Blaine.
Whoa, chop, cut. We cut right here. Okay, we'll put edit right there. Chop master. What's up?
The man with the worst takes, Mr. TJ Beckham.
Hi diddly ho, neighborino.
And our pretentious film student, Alex Ballant.
You've got a friend in me, Mitch.
We are here, as always, for your viewing and listening pleasure over at youtube.com/PressYYZ and on all your favorite podcast services. If you can, rate us on iTunes, leave a review, tell us everything we're doing right. And if we're doing them wrong, just DM me, I guess. Don't leave reviews. Those are bad. Today, we're here to talk about Toy Story 2. Originally released in 1999. Once again, directed by one John Lasseter, who went on to direct both Cars and Cars 2. His co-directors, Ash Brannon, who went on to direct Surf's Up.
Ew.
And Lee Unkrich, who went on to direct both Toy Story 3 and Coco.
Do you know Surf's Up has
One
a
of those
sequel?
is better than the other.
Yeah,
Surf's
it's a
Up has a
WWE
sequel
movie.
that's a WWE movie?
So it's Undertaker as a penguin.
It's real odd. Also, Alex, is this the first movie where you were born?
Yes.
When it came out?
Yes.
No, wait, hold on.
Wait.
Your birthday's when again?
Toy Story 2.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Toy Story 2 released on November 24th, 1999, to wildly successful box office numbers, eventually grossing almost $500 million.
So I was a solid 11 months old when this movie came out.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, so
Which
you
was
weren't?
January of
Does that mean
99.
you weren't alive when Bug's Life came out?
No.
Ah, okay.
Interesting story about this film. As soon as the first film came out, with the way it was received, they knew immediately they had to make a sequel. And Disney owned the rights to make a sequel with or without Pixar. So initial story reels did come off, and they were promising. It was originally going to be a direct to, I guess at that time, VHS film, direct to home movie. And Disney decided to upgrade this to a theatrical release, but were obligated due to marketing reasons and other concerns to stick to a specific day. Pixar was not happy with this because they actually ended up redeveloping the entire plot of the film in one weekend. And although most Pixar films take years to develop, the production schedule for Toy Story 2 was 9 months.
Holy shit.
Do you
They
know
had 9 months to make this movie.
I don't want to spoil a thing that's coming later probably, but do we have the fact in here where they almost lost footage?
Yes, I have that.
Okay, we'll get to it.
We'll get to that. Actually, we'll probably get to it in a minute. Let me get through a couple more little bullets, get everyone's thoughts, then we'll get right into it.
Quickly, saying, really interesting story about this whole the Pixar and Disney relationship. Read the Steve Jobs book because they talk about this, and they no holds barred. It is, you see just the hatred between Pixar and Disney at the time.
The Pixar book too was also very eye-opening to this whole relationship. So where was I? Randy Newman once again back to compose all the music for the film, because what is a Pixar film without Randy Newman? Film released to critical acclaim with a rare 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, just like its predecessor. It is the first Pixar film to have a sequel, and it is at the time, it was one of 3 Disney films to win the Golden Globe for Best Picture. The other 2. Can you guess what the other 2 Disney films to win the Golden Globe for Best Picture were? Disney
Toy
films.
Story.
No.
Snow White.
Oh.
No.
The Lion King.
That is one of them.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
The other, 1991's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
So we all know the rigmarole. You know the cast from the original. You know that John Ratzenberger's in here as Ham. That's all you really need. You got Tom Hanks and Tim Allen coming back to reprise their roles as Buzz and Woody. But newcomers to our cast, you have Joan Cusack as Jessie, Kelsey Grammer as Stinky Pete the Prospector. Everyone's favorite affable idiot, Wayne Knight in as Al of Al's Toy Barn fame. Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel, voices tour guide Barbie, as well as Barbie in
really?
subsequent Toy Story films, which I did not know
tour guide
until
Barbie.
today.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Joe Ranft as Wheezy, who we talked about at length in our last episode because he tragically passed away. He was the voice of Heimlich in that film. Estelle Harris as Mrs. Potato Head from Seinfeld. Estelle Costanza, or as you youngins might know, Muriel from The Sweet Life of Zack.
Or as us,
Which blew my mind.
or as us more obscure youngins might know, as the sword from Dave the Barbarian.
Also that. And finally, in the role of Evil Emperor Zurg, you have story writer Andrew Stanton, who we've talked about it previously on this film. He's been involved in a lot of Pixar productions over the years, and he will come up, obviously, in later pieces.
Destroy Buzz Lightyear.
I just want to quickly go around. How did everyone feel about Toy Story 2? Alex?
So this is probably out of the Toy Story franchise of movies, the one I'm the least familiar with. And I enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as the first one. I feel like it hits a lot of the same notes, though notably this is the first movie, at least in the few that we've done so far, that has like that Pixar moment of, oh my god, this is just hits me right in the feels, which was interesting to see for the first time.
Something of note there, you were speaking, I mean, we're going to get into spoilers for the entire film at this point. So he's talking specifically about the moment where Jessie recounts her life with Emily, I'm assuming.
Yes,
And
that is exactly what I'm referring to.
That song and moment was shown to stars Tom Hanks and Tim Allen for the first time together, and they both broke down to tears at the exact same moment in that scene.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, I
It's
believe
an
it.
impressive moment.
It is still super impactful. It's probably the moment that stood out the most to me before seeing this, and even then it still hits so hard even knowing about it going in. Besides that, it feels very much like a sequel to Toy Story. Like, it feels like it hits a lot of the same notes, but I think that emotional moment really kind of showed a whole new side to Pixar that we're going to see continuing going on from here.
Nick, what did you think?
I've loved this movie. I've always kind of loved this movie, honestly, for a long time. I thought it came out way later. Like, thought this was like a 2002 movie, but a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, it's 1999. Anyways, it's another Toy Story film that has just always kind of been with me. I remember watching it for the first time when I was a kid, and basically, like, oh, there's a video game level, like, in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, I was like, I felt seen, you know, with that sort of thing. Yeah, it's just like every moment does hit, and I think that I don't feel any sort, like, I feel a sort of way with the movie, but I don't feel like overpowered. Like, I love Toy Story 1, and I think it's nostalgia goggles that keep it at number 1, but like thinking about, you know, like what this movie does to not only flesh out the characters but flesh out the world that is toys, like toys in Toy Story. I think it does such a great job, especially with the scene with them going to Al's Toy Barn and seeing these different toys interact in a different way in a different setting. Like, I kind of wish we got more of that. I wish we got more of, like, instead of doing, and we'll get to it at some point, but instead of doing like Toy Story 4 where we have the same toys, where it's a different group of people, like it's a new set of toys for a new generation. And I think that the Al's Toy Barn like also shows like, oh, like all these toys interact with each other. I think we're gonna get into it with me talking to TJ a little bit later, but I think that that Al's Toy Barn scene is actually like pretty cool as a world builder, you know. You can see what all these other toys do.
Finally, TJ, how'd you feel?
So this is actually my favorite Toy Story. It is the best in my eyes because not only does it, like, it does touch on a lot of the same beats, but it explores like some new territory, and as Nick said, like it builds on the world, and we are actually like not Toy Story, but earlier this week we're talking about John Wick, and like what's the best John Wick film, and I said 2 because it builds on the world, it fleshes out this world and it gives like it makes it more interesting. And
I did not
like,
expect us to compare Toy Story to John Wick, but here's where we are.
yeah, and like that's what Toy Story 2 is. Toy Story 2 fleshes out this world so much. It shows that Woody is older than Sputnik, a satellite that was launched in the friggin' 50s. Like he's old as balls. Like it fleshes that out. Like tells you what Woody is. Even fleshes out Buzz and some of the other toys. Like it builds on this world and has so many fun scenes. Like the fact that like the Alice Toy Garden scene, I absolutely love the scene where they're playing games at the start. Like there's just so much in this movie that is just so fun and so joyous, and also again hits the heartstrings. Like I didn't cry at the when somebody loves me part, but it hurts. Like
every time it hits.
Well, because everyone has that toy that they stopped playing with as a kid, right? Like we all have that moment. Pixar just does such a good job of relating these films back to just human behavior and human like pathos. It's just amazing how deep to your core, and we'll see this as we move on. Like they take this to like the umpteenth level with some of their later films, but we'll definitely get into it.
Well, and Pixar like has a way of like that. I think the Pixar effect is very much known at this point, but the Pixar has a way of just basically reiterating the phrase at one point in time, your parents held you for the last time. And every single time it hits, man.
It really does. It really does. Okay, so to circle back, Nick did mention that there was a point in the production of this film where they lost all footage. So, as a software developer by trade, reading what I did today almost broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because someone on a machine at Pixar typed in RM star. Now, RM is a command to delete files. Star means everything. So it will erase all data on these computers. So during production, someone typed that into some machine, and everything was gone. Animators estimated that if they 20 to 30 people working for a solid year, they could recreate all of the work that had been erased in less than 20 seconds. It was gone. So as this was going through, they called their system admins, had them literally pull the plug, which they did. But when they plugged the computers back in, they found that most of the film was gone. Just gone. Supervising technical director Galen Sussman was told, and she said for them to use the backups. However, those were corrupted and were unusable. So, note to self: have backups of literally everything.
But
I know
it helps when you have
person-
backups
PJ,
of
go ahead,
backups.
and then we'll get into the rest of the story. Yeah.
That person must never touch like it probably has never touched a computer again. Just like I deleted a almost like $500 million grossing film and caused so much work, and they must have been fired so fast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But luckily for them, that same supervising technical director thought she might have a copy of the film on her home computer. So they went to her house and collected the computer. They buckled it into the car. They wrapped it in blankets and pillows, put all the seatbelts in, and got it to the Pixar office as carefully as they could. When they plugged it in, they found that all the work was on that computer. And they were able to transfer everything back to the Pixar machines and continue working on the film. Without that, we might never have gotten this movie.
And it's really like amazing. Like it is as good as it was with all that. Yeah. Like, I mean, also it's after the
shorter
fact,
development
but
time.
the shorter development time. Like, I might be with TJ here. Like, I don't feel. I feel a lot of the way in every single, like, of the first 3 Toy Story movies. I would put any of them at number 1. I think that. I think
Depends
that
on the day of the week. But
yeah,
I can feel that.
I think that one of them hits more for me, and it hits every time, and I think that's probably what I usually lean towards. But the everything that this movie does, it does so magically, and the fact that it's not only world building. Like the thing speaking to John Wick 2. Like the thing that I don't really like about John Wick 2 is it world builds, but it's not like the story itself isn't necessarily a great focus. Whereas this world builds and somehow focuses on every single character. Even though it is mainly a Woody story, it focuses on every single character, and it shows Buzz becoming the Woody spot and Buzz kind of taking over in that lead, as well as Woody being like, oh, I don't know if this is where I need to be, and thinking about things like super existential things. We see like Wheezy talk about, I'm not long for this world. We think about the toys dying, and that sort of thing is like when you're not played with, what happens. I think it's
I was gonna.
really cool.
I was gonna wait till later, but you mentioned the toys dying thing. Like, so I know the film kind of touches on this whole like toys getting cast aside and
mortality of it all.
And like, so this film is a contributing factor to an existential crisis I had in my early teens.
Same.
And it's like, it just shows how powerful that movie is and how this movie is and why it's number 1 on the list.
We'll get to that later, I'm sure.
Honestly, I don't know if I agree or disagree.
We'll chat later.
Okay, let's just get into the plot of the film. So we open on a really elaborate scene, which draws homage greatly from films near and dear to our hearts, Star Wars, as Buzz descends onto what we come to know as Zurg's base of operations, with a bunch of robots trying to kill him, and he get all these fun acrobatics and things. You immediately know it's not our toys. But the way we get these fun animated intros that are out, like basically the way we would imagine playing with our toys as kids. Like we got it in the first one with the bank robbery. You get it in I think the third one is like it's a train heist.
Yeah, it's a train heist.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Just that's always been a lot of fun. So we get Buzz navigating through this base, and ultimately is confronted by Zurg, and Zurg blows him in half, which as a kid was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
You think Buzz is dead.
That Duracell battery though, pretty cool. Like the boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's the lightsaber noise.
It is lightsaber noise.
There was a few Star Wars sounds in this sequence.
I felt seen.
Oh yeah, there's the lasers.
I felt fucking seen in this first 15 minutes. We have Star Wars noises. Rex is playing a video game. Throughout the film, he talks about the video game. Like, I'm like, oh man, like this is like the comic nerd culture moment. Like,
yeah.
Also, the thing that I made of note in this first scene, mouth animation on Buzz, much improved over the first one.
Really?
Oh, the entire
yeah, it was night and day, dude.
Because I made a note that while their animation has improved, their mouth animation still not great, especially the corners of mouths.
The corners of mouths,
corners of the mouths, they are really bad because they just look so weird.
Again, it was still 99 though at the same time.
Yeah. But like the technical,
this is before Y2K. Remember, they had to get this all rushed out before the world blew up, basically.
And they didn't. They almost didn't.
And then it didn't. And they almost didn't. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, just the entire technical achievement that this film was like, even from Bug's Life to this, which I know like the development time was shorter. Like the biggest takeaway that I had from just technically the lighting, like, and the way that the first scene of seeing the toys, and it's like the sun is kind of going down, so it's like it's not direct lighting. It was impressive, and
absolutely.
like, because thinking about the first movie, you got either day or night. There was no subtlety in between, and I thought that was like the biggest technical achievement that Pixar has going forward. But like for this, it's like lighting and also humans as well. Like you can tell that they showed humans a lot more in this one because they were a lot more confident with what they had. And so just overall, like I was blown away just by the technical achievement. And it's always
just
like
to add to your lighting point too, there's a moment in the outtakes where they're shooting a scene of Buzz and Woody's messed with his helmet or something, and it's at the window in Andy's room, and it's lit beautifully, like it's like dusk almost. And they make a fun joke. It's like a film joke of, okay, we're losing our lighting. We gotta get they made a film joke about this because it was like, breaking the fourth wall kind of making a movie, and that really hit of like, yeah, they realized they could go this way, and they just made a joke out of it. It was great.
Yeah. I will say with all the technical like feats though, the one thing I will say apart from the mouse, which I wasn't, Buster looks
Yeah.
very out of
yeah.
place.
Let's
Yeah.
get into it.
Again,
So
dog technology gotten better though.
100%.
Yeah.
But let's get into it then. So we pan out from the game, and it's actually Rex playing the game, and he's just not dexterous enough to shoot and move at the same time. And we get a scene of the toys all kind of just doing their thing in Andy's room, and it's great. And then the thing that bothered me the most, they accidentally put on a commercial for Al's Toy Barn, and this is the first time in either movie that the toys recognize the fact that making too much noise could alert humans. Where was this during the meeting in the first one, or when they're messing with the blinds, or all of these things? But no, it's Al's
maybe
freaking Toy Barn.
you think about the fact maybe they had an encounter in between Toy Stories 1 and 2 where they were too loud and they almost fucked up. You got to think about that. Maybe they had that moment.
Either way, Slinky Dog has found Woody's lost hat, and it turns out Buster had it. So we get a nice scene between Buster and Woody, where Woody's taught him how to do tricks, and the dog
Reach
animation
for
here
the sky.
vastly improved over the first one. But we
Yes.
do know, based on later Pixar films, it gets a whole lot better.
It gets
But it's fun here because Andy comes into the room, all the toys go to sleep. Buster runs out of the room. Andy tries to do a trick with him, and Buster won't listen because he's Woody's dog. He's not Andy's dog at this point, which I thought was great. Andy's got 5 minutes before he has to leave for cowboy camp, so he figures, 5 minutes. Let's build this elaborate set and scenario featuring him, a bunch of army men, a few boxes, and play with our toys before I have to leave.
5 minutes.
So, two things here. First, this scene hella unrealistic. He cannot set this up in 5 minutes.
Yo,
Considering
Andy's
toys-
going places though.
Yeah,
Like-
he's got experience. with these
like,
toys.
just
actually,
the-
before we get into the toy scene, I did want to mention that in the whole bit where the TV's too loud and Ham's flipping through the
The
oh
station.
no, that's later. Never mind. No, he's flipping through them later.
Oh
right?
yeah, he flips it.
Yeah. I
When
think
it's
they
like,
just turn it
wait,
off.
go
Yeah,
back, go
that's-
back, go back.
Yeah,
that's later.
No, so go ahead. Sorry,
Um,
TJ. Go ahead.
So again, just the time, like if he has 5 minutes to play, the setup of this alone
It's gonna
would
take
take
5
more
minutes.
than 5 minutes. But the second point, and our first in piece of how does this work? So we're revisiting a topic from the first Toy Story, toy sex, because Bo Peep is thirsty at the start of this movie. When Woody's looking for his hat, she literally puts the hook around him, pulls him in, like, they want it. But this also raises questions, because Woody saves Bo Peep, or saves the sheep, and then Andy makes them kiss. So, how does this work isn't necessarily the sex part of it, relationships. Do Bo Peep and Woody like each other because they just happen to like each other? Or is it because
They're their
Andy
character?
has created these characters that Woody saves Bo Peep? So they just
pushes the
go into
relationship.
this. Yeah.
He's like the
So is he like
he's like the
the-
parents that are just like, oh, you guys would be perfect for each other.
Yeah.
No,
Is
this
it an
is something I wanted to
arranged
get into later,
marriage?
but no, I wanted to get into this later, but let's get into it now. Do toys worship their owners as gods? Like, they are sentient, so there must be some sort of benevolent, like, everyone has that benevolent sense about them, and
Do you
we
think
talk
that's
a lot
why
about morality, life, death, and all of that in this film. Is the concept of death related back to their owner, or is there some other greater toy god beyond their owner? Because they
Well,
seem
you
to
think
worship
of-
their owners as gods.
Well, you think about it too, like with not only with Andy's toys, but with Sid's toys. Like Sid's toys are not a reflection of Sid. They might be a reflection of Sid's inner being, but they are not a reflection of Sid. And I think like more off, it's the need to belong. You know, I think like, especially with Andy, I see Andy and all the other toys that related to him like Andy's my toy, and anybody who sees Andy on their boot, it's like you are Andy's toy, you know, like, and that's
So is it like a religion?
kind of like it's
I'd say it's more as cults.
I don't know if
The
cults,
cult of Andy. I'm down for cult of Andy. Sure.
the cult
Actually, you
of
brought up a good
Andy.
point mentioning Sid's toys, and I want to get into it in a second because the next thing we see is while Andy's playing with Woody, he rips Woody's arm, tears it off a little bit, and he can no longer take Woody to camp, and Woody's put on the shelf. And we see Woody spring back to life with a limp right arm, which was just terrifying as a kid. And I have 2 questions here. One, how does toy dismemberment work? Because his arm goes limp here. He can't even use it. But then there are other scenes where he can use it even though there's a bit of a tear in it. The continuity errors there really upset me. And also, if you can, like, does this work? Like, you see it partially torn away. So as long as it's attached to something, that something can use that thing. Because we see with Sid's toys in the first one, they're all Frankensteins, but they all seem to be able to use whatever appendages have been attached to them. So, like, do they lose all sense of feeling when the arms or limbs are no longer attached to that toy? Do they feel pain? Like,
Sid
just seemed upset.
Sid might not have a medical degree. However,
right,
he might know how to thread those toys right. You know what I'm saying? Andy's over here being a dumbass kid, you know, just like breaking toys left and right. I don't want to play with you anymore, you know? Wheezy's been up on the shelf. You know, like, come on, guys.
Mitch, I'm going to expand on your question now with something I was going to wait until later. So, not only toy amputation is the question, but my question for how does this work is toy anatomy in general. Because first, again, Woody with his arm, he rips it, it's limp. He can't use it. It comes off. He doesn't feel it anymore. He can't use it. It gets sewn back on. Like, does he have nerves? He feels pain, so he must have something.
We don't know that he feels pain.
He screams out in pain when he's getting like fought with Jesse in that.
He screams momentarily, but that's just play fighting.
But also in the last movie, he screams too.
Yeah, when he says
ow, ow,
ow. He gets the magnifying glass. But in this,
so we know he feels pain.
Later on, he loses an arm, just goes, "Oh, my arm." But it's not like he's not like if you lost your arm, you would be passed the hell out on that friggin' apartment floor.
But that's because if we lost our arm, we'd be losing blood in that. So like we know he feels pain. Toy Story 1 established this.
Yeah.
So it's like
we don't know if they feel traumatizing pain though.
Yeah. And then building on that, and the one I was gonna save till later, but again, it's brought up now.
You can save it.
No.
Yeah, the muscles.
And when Andy repairs him, he has like the extra stuffing that makes him like, buff.
There's an even bigger question. Because at the end of this movie, a toy horse is able to keep up with a plane that is taking off on the tarmac.
We will get in. We're gonna get into that.
We'll get into the Fast and Furious 6 when we get to it. Okay.
I'm putting a pin in that one. So Woody is shelved. We get into this weird dream sequence, which is super creepy. All of the toys are playing with cards, but every card is the Ace of Spades, and the Ace of Spades is known to predict a death. So that's creepy. And then Andy abandons Woody in this dream, and he's thrown into a trash can, presumably of all of Sid's old toys, that pull him into the abyss. And it's just like, oh my God, how did they show this to children?
Oh, that's right. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore. Bye, Woody. What a creepy scene.
Woody wakes up from this nightmare and discovers that Wheezy, a long-lost toy of Andy's, has been shelved for all these years because he's got a bum squeaker. Andy's mom comes into the room. They're going to have a yard sale. She collects a bunch of old things that no one's using. A weird, incredibly rusty train from under Andy's bed.
Is that a train? That's what question I had. What the fuck is he pulling out? Is it
whatever it is? You should not leave a toy that rusty in a child's bedroom.
I've got a bum squeaker and a rusty train for you.
Wheezy is added to the box of yard sale goods, and Woody does his best to.
He accepts his fate.
If Woody did accept the fate, everything would have been fine. But no, he goes to try to save Wheezy.
Wheezy
accepts his fate.
Yeah.
Woody will have none of it because he's having his own existential crisis. So he feels like he has to save Wheezy.
He does.
Yeah, this then gets into the, like... So, I guess the first movie establishes that toys do speak. But then with the... Because, like, I can't remember if it's this scene or if it's later when... The dog, the pole dog, he like talks to
Slinky.
Yeah, Slinky.
Slinky dog.
Yeah, Slinky. I blanked on the name, but Slinky
He's
talks to Buster. He talks to Buster in barks, So do dog? So can they understand what Buster's? There's so many questions that I have about how the like just the fact that Woody was able to train the dog alone is just too like these are where my questions are going. But then how do they communicate?
That gets into one of my favorite scenes in the entire film of Woody uses Buster to get down to the yard sale. As they're coming outside, he tells him to act casual, and that dog prances like there's no tomorrow, which is like not that casual.
Exactly. So does the dog understand the toys, and he understands exactly what these mean? Does that mean that Woody taught him to be casual?
I believe it.
Yeah.
How does this work, part 3? So, animals. We earlier Buster doing the tricks, now going down with Woody. Animals know that toys come to life? Do they know that like they shouldn't act as if they're alive when their owners are around? Do animals ever make noise with these toys that cause the owners to come in? Like, do they ever question where's Buster and why is he in Andy's room so much? Like, what the hell?
And it's also to think about Scud. Like, did Scud know that the toys were fucked up? Is that why he's a fucked up dog?
Yeah. I mean, with Sid as an owner.
Did he already have the trauma?
Woody proceeds to save Wheezy from the yard sale. And this is actually what prompted me to bring up the thing earlier about, do toys have gods? Mm-hmm. He says, bless you. And, like, that just felt a little too on the nose for me not to bring it up.
I mean, it's just a saying.
But, I don't know. That's what prompted me to think all that. And then you guys, with the comments you made earlier, kind of led into it.
I love how we have the idiot opinions, and then you just like actually have something like, oh, okay, maybe. We flush it. We're like, listen, these guys over here, what are they doing?
Woody falls off a Buster and ends up getting added to the yard sale pile. Al hears there's a snake in my boot, which, funny enough, is the only line from Woody's voice box we hear in the entire movie. We hear from his voice box more than once, but it's always there's a snake in my boot. And he tries to sneakily buy Woody and doesn't work, and ends up making this whole elaborate thing just to try and break into the money box and only take Woody. Which, if you want to try and stage a robbery, why just take the doll?
Yeah, I was going to say, just take the whole lockbox.
Andy's mom knows by the end of the weekend that Woody is missing, right? Like, Andy goes to camp. She's like, oh, God, what am I going to do? Like, his favorite toy's gone. Like, she doesn't know who that guy was. He's not recognizable without the chicken suit. And then he just comes back at the end of the weekend and everything is fine.
This isn't even like the first time that Woody has gone missing. You know?
Well, it's also, but
terrible at taking care of his stuff.
Well, does she know that he's missing though? Because yes, she's like, oh, how does this get down here?
Yes,
she
because she's not going to go into the lockbox more than once during the yard sale to add or remove change from that. Have you ever hosted a yard sale, TJ?
No, because I'm not a fucking old man like you are.
I'm not an old man. Look at this face. His face is clean.
Yeah.
Look at that hair, though.
Look at that hair, though. And that's no. I mean, my mom would do yard sales all the time when we were kids, and like you've got a lockbox with the money, but you're going in there to get change to make quarters for dollars and all that stuff. Like you do that thing during a yard sale multiple times, so she knows before the end of that morning that Woody's gone.
But that's what I'm saying though. Yes, she threw Woody in there, but she's got so much going on, and she's a single parent running this yard sale by herself. We don't see any helpers. So last thing she probably realizes is while she's sitting there like with people buying some rusty ass roller skate train thing that they found under her son's bed, is she throws it in. It's like, oh, I had a Woody in here. No, she'll forget about it, and there's no mention of it. And Woody's back home by the time Andy's back, so there's literally no reason to.
Either way, Al is the worst. Steals Woody. Buzz tries to save him and fails.
Here's what we do: we put an all points bulletin. Hi, Nikki Blaine. I know you're watching this film. You were a single mom at one point, and I did have toys. Would you?
Are we talking about Nick's?
My mom. I know you're watching this right now, and if you got to this point, first off, thank you. I appreciate you supporting me. Second off, you were a single mom at one point. I was a single son. Okay, if you were doing a yard sale, would you have noticed? Would you have noticed?
We need to
put it in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe. Okay. I know you already are doing that, but appreciate it.
This is where we get a scene of the toys trying to figure out who took Woody. It's full on CSI. They're trying to figure out what the hell this guy was doing, where he was going. Buzz is able to deduce that it was Al of Al's Toy Barn fame. I'm trying to remember if this is where they get the map. Is this where they try to get the map, or do they do this later?
Yeah, no, this is where, because they hand clicks.
They're hand flipping through the commercials, and in those commercials, if you look closely, you see shots from other Pixar shorts, including Luxo Jr., Red's Dream, Tin Toy, and Knick Knack. But they're able to figure out where Al's Toy Barn is, and Buzz goes on a mission to rescue Woody, because that's what Woody would have done. We get a fun scene here of Mrs. Potato Head packing Mr. Potato Head's things in his butt, including an extra pair of shoes and his angry eyes, just in case. Which does come up.
I gotta say, that's what kind of puts this movie top for me, is because of these fun. Are you calling your mom?
Continue.
Okay. What puts this movie over the top is just the little jokes.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
These fun little jokes that they have, such as the angry eyes, or when Woody's out there, and Al's like, "How much for Woody?" and offers $50, and Mr. Potato Head's like, "That's not a bad deal." Like, just the little strikes of humor like that are just so good.
We need an update if your mom calls you back.
Well, I will update if mom calls me back.
Okay. Here we're introduced to
wait.
Al's.
We gotta. Can I call you back? Yeah. So okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, you do your thing. We'll do ours. We get our first scene in Al's apartment, where Woody is introduced to Jesse, Bullseye, and the prospector Stinky Pete. I have a question about this though. What constitutes a toy coming to life? Because those toys have not been played with in years. So are all the toys that you're not playing with just randomly having parties and get-togethers when you're not playing with them, when they're away in storage? Like,
we saw that in the store. We saw all the Barbies were having parties with each other. But then also, my question is, with this scene, is what type of toy gets to come to life? Because we saw toys, we saw Woody merchandise on the shelf, and there was a yo-yo. That's a toy. Do those not get to come to life? But then really arbitrary toys get to come to life. So what constitutes a toy? What type of toy gets to come to life?
There's also a scene right at the end of this movie. Actually, I don't want to get too much into it, but Jesse does something that mimics something that Buzz did in the first movie. And I didn't think about it in the first one, but I'm definitely thinking about it now. In the first movie, Buzz, when he flies, quote unquote, for the first time, he does so by riding a Hot Wheel down a track. Why doesn't is that Hot Wheel sentient? Is it not? Is he unwilling, or is he forcing that toy to do his bidding, even though that toy has a consciousness all of its own, which Jesse also does later in this movie? Why do some toys come to life and some don't? What constitutes a toy dying? Is it just getting broken? Or is it like Wheezy when he's not being played with and it just over time you start to degrade? We don't know. How does toy sentience and life and mortality work? Nick, go ahead.
Hey, Mom. You're on the premiere movie review podcast, YYZ Video, where we do bi-weekly Pixar podcast every other Friday. How are you today, first off?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Nick?
Thank you very much. All right, we got into the conversation. You're aware of the movie Toy Story 2, right?
I am.
Okay, so in the titular movie Toy Story 2, Andy's mom puts Woody in the cash box, the lock box during the yard sale. Okay.
Right.
And you were a single mom at one point, right? Now you're not a single mom, obviously. We love Dad very much. However, at one point you were a single mom. If I had Woody in the lockbox, or if you had Woody in the lockbox, and you went back to the lockbox and Woody wasn't there, how long do you think it would be before you noticed?
Not very long. I would notice right away.
Thank you, Mom. I really appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night. I love you very much.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
So either Andy's mom is the worst, or this movie's just incredibly unrealistic.
Or I'm just saying out there again, putting it out there. My mom's the best. Just putting it out there.
Could be that too.
But so
she did raise you.
We already knew that.
Following up on Mitch's point, though, so about toy sentient, I was actually just thinking about this too while you're talking about it, and I was gonna say, I'd say it's probably toys that have eyes and mouth, but then Etch-a-Sketch is alive, and that
Yeah.
definitely does not have eyes or a mouth.
Speak and spell is alive.
Yeah, and then the toy, like the Woody with the teeth that can get removed, is not
the
alive.
toy block game.
Yeah.
Again,
that
does this play into like how recently do
true.
toys have to be played with to constitute sentience
But I
and
don't-
things like that? Like
I
over
don't
time,
think
do they
that's-
lose
Skinny
that?
Pete has never been played with because he
Well,
was in the
that's-
box.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that
I know.
this movie proves that kids have nothing to do with toy sentient because like Stinky Pete's in the box, Buzz Lightyear's in the toy aisles. They are moving. The Barbies, they're moving.
But those toys would be younger, right? Because those toys are new and fresh and waiting to be played with. So, at what point is a toy given that sentience? Is it just when it leaves the factory? Is it when it's anticipating being bought? Is it when it's played with for the first time? We don't know these answers. And it
Did
bothers
those
we,
me.
know, we
toys-
definitely know it's not the played with. For the
But
first
did those
time.
toys lose sentience? Maybe they had
Um,
sentience at one point and then they lost it.
Either way, we're introduced to all the
Oh, hold
concept
on,
of-
Mitch. Let's. You're trying to rush through this. It's a discussion podcast, man. It's a discussion podcast. This scene though with the memorabilia, where Woody is going through and like playing with the snake and the record player.
He's introduced
This-
to the whole concept of Woody's Roundup and what the show
Yeah.
was, which is what I was trying to say before letting you get into talking about the different toys and things. But go ahead.
This scene though is one of the reasons that Mitch can suck my that is one of the reasons that I love Toy Story 2 so much more because it is so building up Woody so much and showing so much of what the character Woody is, what Woody belongs to. Just like how we see with Buzz Lightyear in the first one and in this one, and soon to be the Lightyear film coming out in God knows how long. And I love seeing Woody like kind of just rediscover who he is through this memorabilia.
Something
Right,
else
you can
fun
go
that
ahead,
we were introduced here as well is Jesse has claustrophobia from years of being stuck in storage. And I think that's a very human thing to have to deal with, and to see that come from a toy makes it a lot more approachable as a subject for younger audiences, which I think is great.
All right, how do toys work? I forgot now because we've done it a couple times.
From part 4 now.
Yes,
At least 3 this episode.
Jesse, 100% has PTSD, right?
Oh yeah, for
100%.
sure.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
So then this goes into how do toys' minds work? Like, do they have mental illness? Because I mean, like, they obviously have memories and poor ones at that, since they forgot about Woody or Wheezy, and since Woody apparently forgot about his entire
Well, they
history.
didn't forget about Wheezy. They thought Andy's mom was taking him to get fixed, and it didn't happen.
And they never thought like, hey, where's that
Wheezy?
penguin that squeaks? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe they had those conversations, but they weren't having them on camera because it wasn't clutched to the plot of the film.
but
But I mean,
like,
at the same time, bringing back a conversation we talked about earlier is the noise level. Maybe that had that with something that wasn't clutched on the film.
and then also the fact is that like Woody, like memory too, so PTSD but memory, because Woody does not know about Woody's Roundup, and he's old. He should know this because we have proven in Toy Story 1 and 2, toys are born with the memory of what the toy is. Buzz Lightyear thinks he's a space ranger. Mr. Potato Head knows he's a potato. Ham knows he's a bank. They know what they are. They know what their toy is supposed to be. So what causes Woody to lose the memory of the fact that he is Woody?
Maybe he didn't lose that memory per se, but okay,
Maybe-
I don't know if Carmen was going to get into these conspiracy theories on Carmi's Corner or not, but I will get into it here.
That's
And
a
if she
good
brings it
point,
back up,
too.
you guys can call her out on it or call me out on it because I'm a jerk. There's a theory going around, of course, that Woody was originally his father's toy, and that the reason why it's so hard to find a Woody doll in the case of Val's Toy Barn fame is they didn't really make them. Like it was like a promotional item as part of this show, and since
It's
the show was so short-lived, there were none on the market. They made all the other toys, but Woody was like that one you had to like mail in for, thinking like similarly to Boba Fett, the Boba Fett figure when Star Wars came out. Everyone needed that toy, but you had to go a certain way to get it. So if it was a promotional toy, maybe promotional toys are different because they're like short order or they're custom made. They're not factory produced. I don't know. Remember,
Also,
it's
it
like
could-
hand stitched hat, hand woven
Yep.
buttons, and all that crap, right?
That's like maybe Woody is basically the butt ugly Martians Burger King figure that I had. But ugly Martians only had one season. You know,
You,
they know
you
what
joke
was
about
it.
this. We watched this movie as a group on the Press YYZ Discord, invite.gg/Press YYZ if you want to join us. And my sister was in there with us. She's like, I need to go find all our Toy Story toys, partially due to things I won't mention here. So she went and found a Mr. Potato Head that we basically, when we went to Disney World for the first time, we were about, I think I was 10 or 11. So, or no, I was younger than that. I think I was 8 or 9. So it would have been like 2000, 2001. So like peak Toy Story everywhere hype, right? And they had a promotion where you, for a set price, you get a potato and you can put as many parts in this box as you can humanly fit in this box. So she went and found this Mr. Potato Head and set it all up and showed us all on the stream, as well as an Aliens toy from McDonald's that's eyes popped out of its head when you squeezed it, which was great. That's all I want to say.
Quite good, quite good.
Okay. So we get the whole, I think at this point he finds out they're supposed to be going to Japan. He wants to go back to his owner, yada, 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 not going to happen. And I'm trying to remember, is this when Al comes back in and sets them up? Or is that later?
No, I think this is now. I think it's now.
He called the toy the
well, no,
toy
he calls
repairer.
the toy guy after this. So he sets them all up and props them into he takes Woody out of the case. We see the thread stay in the case, and he puts them on this display to take photos. And Woody's arm is gone again, getting to the point where Woody comes back to life. What? It's just a pop seam, which also Stinky Pete makes it seem like it's a common thing. He's never left his box. How would he know that a thread pop is a simple thing to fix?
He's trying to lie to Woody.
He's lying, and he's ultimately the villain of this film. But we'll get into that in a bit.
Yes, it's good foreshadowing.
But
he might also be the villain of the bloopers. Some might say.
I'm also. Well, yeah. Oh, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
That changed on Disney Plus. I'll tell you what. I had an interesting thing about this. We see Al's car. It's like this old, flashy 70s era, sports car. Like everything feels like of a bygone era. You're dealing with the space race. So you're thinking 60s, 70s toys for Buzz. We know Woody's from the 50s, but we have video games. So this movie is a modern film, but why are there so many retro things?
Well, I think you think about the fact that maybe the Buzz Lightyear franchise has lasted. I mean, look at Star Wars. Star Wars is almost 50 years old at this point, and I think that maybe the Buzz Lightyear franchise has been. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and we get a sense that the controller that is being used at the game at the beginning looks like a Super Nintendo controller, and there were Super Nintendo Star Wars games.
Yep.
It could be early 90s, maybe, as opposed to when the film actually came out. So adds a little more.
Even without that, I think that maybe Andy just has an SNES. I knew, I had an N64 for a long, long time before I got PS2.
Especially because he's, a single mother, probably can't afford the newest game system, so it's probably a generation behind.
It's a hand-me-down or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I also think that just because Buzz's space toy, I don't think he came he said Stinky Pete says after Sputnik launched it was all about space toys. I don't think Buzz was that first wave. He's a more high tech toy. I mean, look the bending action, the electronics in him,
karate chop action.
Yeah, he is 100% I think it takes place in the 90s. It's the late 90s.
It stood out to me because of all the flair on other things, but that's not a big deal. We get into a fun scene of Woody trying to navigate what looks to be 73 bags of Cheetos just strewn across Al's floor, which doesn't make any sense because he poured the bag, his hand is covered in cheese, but the floor is covered in Cheetos.
Yeah, we had this discussions. Al's hand is so covered in cheese dust, but that bowl is full. So he has either gone and replenished this as a second bowl, or this must have been the tallest pile of Cheetos ever.
Also, he probably replenished that bowl. No,
he 100% refilled that bowl.
Also, I just want to point out there, just a side note, and it's a real friggin' dumb side note at that. If you want to go to twitter.com, you as well as I can follow a Twitter account called I Can't Believe I Have to Drive All the Way to Work on a Saturday. All the way to work. Every single Saturday, they post that clip. There you go.
Where he drives to work,
He
which
drives
is across the street.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite
Okay.
things.
I've always wanted to live that close to work.
It's nice, trust me. Either way, Woody, now accompanied by Bullseye, tries to navigate this maze of cheese dust. Is able to get onto Al, grab his hand, while at the same time Bullseye is licking the cheese dust off of Al's hand, which raises the question: do toys eat? Why do toys taste if toys do not eat? If they don't taste, then how are they also feeling? What senses do they possess or not possess? And also, Woody has Al belch in his face and is immediately put off by the smell. Do toys smell? Why do toys
think
smell?
they have
Toys have no
base
need for a
senses.
sense of smell.
I think they have base senses. Like I think like the smell and the taste, yeah. But I think they're like I think it's what we do in the shadows, I want to say, that has the we can eat, we just don't like to eat because it doesn't do anything.
That is what we do in the shadows.
Yeah. So
Either way, the TV is mysteriously turned back on. Al is woken, puts Woody back in his case, and it turns out the remote is sitting in front of Jesse this whole time.
it does conclude
And-
our broadcast day.
Now we get to the point where Buzz and the gang are having to cross a very busy street
Okay,
to
hold
get
on.
to Al's toy barn. Go ahead.
There's one segment here before they get there where they're just like on a nondescript neighborhood street, sneaking like at night, going from A to B. And the funniest joke I think that might be in this movie is Ham is running and he falls
His cork pops
and his
out.
cork pops out and money goes everywhere. And he just slightly turns. He's like, "No one look until I get my cork back in." It put me in stitches.
So good.
Either way, we have Buzz and crew approach the intersection. Buzz using, for the first time as far as I know, his karate chop action to clear the branches. And if you look close enough, is this not here? Is it?
Oh wait,
it's a
no, it's
blooper.
it's not the first.
It's not a blooper. It happens in the
No,
movie.
it happens in the movie. He used the
No,
karate
the-
chop
you're
action
right.
in.
No, it's in.
He does
It's
it in
in
the
both
first one.
scenes.
He does it in the first
TJ?
one for.
Not the Bugs Life thing.
with
No, it's
Sid.
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
If
not.
you look
No, the
yes,
Bugs-
it is.
Nick, me and you are having a different
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly. We're having the conversation. We're having like, he's used the karate chop action before.
Was
in
it here? Was,
Sid's,
was it when
in
he
Sid's, he's like,
approaches? No, because he's.
remember?
Yeah, and the karate
Yeah.
chop action's the first one because Woody hits the button.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
goes-
Oh,
He
right,
doesn't
right,
use the karate chop
Yeah.
action.
He
but-
doesn't. Yeah, it's not voluntary.
Yeah,
I'm
he.
trying to
I think
remember,
he
was it
does
now or
use
was it
the
later
the
that they did
chop.
the karate chop thing?
I just don't think the Bugs Life segment's in it.
No, the Bug Life
100%.
7.
I went.
I'm gonna.
I read it. I read it today, and I went back and I looked real close. I
Oh,
paused
I'm
it.
going to look
They
back
are
and
there.
look right now.
Yeah.
They're on that leaf. Heimlich or at least you can see Heimlich. You can't really see Fleck. Heimlich,
swear to
from
God,
above,
if
like, is
you're-
on one of the branches that Buzz chops in that scene where they're chopping through the bushes.
I swear, if you're right.
He is.
Anyways, continue.
100%. Either way, moving on. They have to cross this super busy street and decide to do so, as we discussed in our first Toy Story review, under cover of pylons, which I forgot how much chaos they caused crossing this street. Covered in pylons. They caused a multi-vehicle pylon.
Well, and only Buzz has had the sneaky technique, okay? Like, we had him doing it in the first one with the Pizza Planet cup, or the burger thing,
he
or whatever.
commands them to drop.
Yeah,
and when they drop,
exactly.
they destroy everything.
Look,
Exactly.
literally,
Somebody definitely died.
Well, I mean,
during
also
Yeah,
look
one
at
of my-
Scud. We still don't know what happened to Scud. They just caused
Well, one of-
chaos.
One of my notes is that this definitely caused a couple people to die.
Oh, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
for
like,
sure.
At least
of-
send people to hospital.
Yeah, like well, even the thing rolling down the street, the truck turning, like somebody's dead. There's at least a dead person amongst these. These toys killed people.
Either way, they're able to cross the street and they end up in Alice Toy Barn, get into the store through some other means, and TJ's wet dream fulfilled. We get this toy weird existential scene where they start to discover all this stuff. Before you get into it, a fun fact, as they're getting into Al's Toy Barn, there's the book, How to Defeat Zurg, whatever, as soon as they enter the store. If you look closely at the corner of the book, as a lighthearted jab at us Canadians, the cover price is shown as $4.95, but $50 in Canada. And this is where we can get into, and at the time that would have been about $7, so it's incredibly unrealistic. But that gets us into our next segment, Pixar guys talk theme park rides. And this week we're going to be talking about Toy Story Mania.
Wait. You can't just
Go
jump
for
into
it.
it. Yeah. Pixar
Fine, go.
guys, we're Pixar guys. We're talking about the theme park rides. All right. Okay, there you go.
All right, so Pixar guys talk theme park rides, and this week we are going to talk about Toy Story Mania, which is a very advanced light gun simulator ride at both Disney's California Adventure in California, as well as at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. This basically, the way Toy Story Land in Orlando is set up is you basically enter the world of the toys. So you're like shrunk down in Andy's backyard. There's big footprints everywhere. You're the size of a toy. So when you enter the queue for this ride, you see a big old Mr. Potato Head. There's like boxes of games and stuff. And you see this book. And when they blew this book up to be human sized for Toy Story Land, that jab is still on the cover.
That's great.
And that's been Pixar Guys Talk Theme Park Rides.
Pixar guys, we're Pixar guys. Oh my God, there is Heimlich.
Yeah,
Yep.
there is.
Already
It's
told you
not
so.
Flick.
It's only
just
Heimlich.
It's just Heimlich. It's just Heimlich. And we do see in the outtakes,
That's
we have Flick and Heimlich
hilarious.
together. But Heimlich is on that branch when Woody chops it, or when Buzz chops it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
100% there. But so Al's Toy Barn. This scene is the best like time of this movie. Going through and discovering, but like Buzz Lightyear taking him out of the. Oh,
I'm an idiot and went through something too quickly, and I've missed a fact that I definitely want to say.
Mhm.
okay.
When Jessie meets Woody for the first time, she exclaims, "Sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln." Abraham
Oh.
Lincoln's mother was Nancy Hanks, who is a blood relative of Tom Hanks. So Tom Hanks is related to the mother of Abraham Lincoln.
Would he not
And
then
Tom
be
Hanks, of
related
course,
to Tom?
voices Woody.
Would he not then be related to Abraham Lincoln?
Yes, but it's she says sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln, and Abe Lincoln's mother,
That makes a lot of sense.
or Tom Hanks is descended from Abe Lincoln's mother specifically, like on her mother's side. But yes, they would
Wow.
be like
So he's a descendant of
far,
Abraham
far
Lincoln.
removed cousins. But when she says sweet mother of Abraham Lincoln, Tom Hanks is directly related to Abraham Lincoln's
Ah.
mother.
Wow.
Okay, I think I get it.
Either way,
Yeah,
Al's
okay.
Toy Barn.
Al Toy Barn, go.
Fantastic.
Super cool.
So going through, seeing like all the buzz, like there's so many questions I have here. I'm gonna try and keep
Just
it real
do
short.
the whole thing. The
Yeah,
Al's Toy Barn scene is all yours. I have one
Yeah.
fact to interject with, and otherwise it's yours.
All right, the fact first that they go in and grab a car and start like they driving around and doing a tour of Al's Toy Barn. Fantastic. Seeing all these different toys. I'm still very curious as why only like the Barbies are alive. You don't see other toys walking around.
So this is where I want to interject. Early drafts of the original Toy Story film had a Barbie in the role of Bo Peep, but Mattel refused to license the character to Disney. The huge popularity of the first film, as well as the fact that it boosted Mr. Potato Head sales, which was also a Mattel property, led to them agreeing to have tour guide Barbie included as a speaking role in the film. Naturally, Mattel released tour guide Barbie as an exclusive doll, which tied into the film and made bank.
I bet.
Well, honestly, like even that, a little tangent. You can see that because like I know there was comments on like not many toy companies wanted to participate with Toy Story. And then in the second one, like even at the start, you see like there's Guess Who in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
There's a
Battleship.
ton of,
There's like a
like,
ton of
licensed board
named,
games.
name brand toys in this movie. But yeah, so Al's Toy Barn, like you see the Barbies come to life. Why is it just the Barbies and the Buzz? Why is not everyone? Whatever. The Isle of Buzz is awesome, but also why doesn't it throw Buzz into an existential crisis? Like he knows he's a toy.
Also, that aisle actually is a fun tidbit because, like, when the original Toy Story released, they didn't produce enough of the toys to meet demand. So all of those Buzzes being the aisles, like, this is what happens when you oversupply for a specific toy. So maybe Buzz isn't as, like, it was popular that one summer when Andy got it, but maybe it's not as popular these days because there's so many of them on the shelf.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's been a rush at them like you had with things like Power Rangers in the 90s and Transformers in the 80s and things like that. But go ahead, TJ.
But so it's just, and then like why is Zurg not with it, whatever. But the two things I want to say here: one, this scene makes me realize, and I was talking to Nick about this yesterday. I know he disagrees with me partially, but there's a movie called Sausage Party.
Oh yeah. Partially.
No.
It's a Seth
I agree.
Rogen
We're not talking
flick.
about this here.
Yes,
We're
we
not
are.
talking-
We are 100%.
God damn it.
So
I'm
there's a movie called
curious.
Sausage Party,
Yeah.
where in the movie food comes to life, and after hours, food lives in the grocery store. Like there is a sack of flour that smokes weed. There are like there are a lot of dirty things in that movie that food does after hours, but they have
Seth Rogen
lives.
is not going to make your sex toy story.
I know. I'm not talking about sex Toy Story, Mitch. Get your mind out of the gutter. I
Yeah.
want the Sausage Party team to
Nope.
make that movie,
Nope.
but with Al's Toy Bar.
Nope.
So I
Sausage
wanna
Party
see-
Team is gonna ruin it. I want to see Pixar do it. I
Okay,
do
I
want
don't
to
care. I
see
wanna
that.
see that kind of
Sausage
movie.
Party Team, nah. Sausage Party sucks.
wanna see that kind of
said it
movie
here, here
where-
There's no
first.
reason they couldn't do that as a Pixar short, or like we know we're getting, I think it's called Monsters at Work,
Yeah.
the sequel series to Monsters Inc. They
6
could do
months
something in
after.
that vein of like this is what happens.
I
to
would
Al's Toy
love
Barney, 'cause
that.
We know the state of
Oh.
Al at the end of the film. I'd love to see them having to deal with the ramifications of what Al is like after his failed attempt to sell the Woody's Roundup toys to that Japanese museum.
You could
That
have
could be
like
dope.
a combination of like Superstore and like.
Dude,
like-
I watched the first 2 episodes of Superstore today. It's so damn good.
But you
It's
could have
dumb as hell.
Well,
It's
it is
good, but
it
it's
is,
dumb.
It's
Oh, it's
kind of
super
it's
dumb.
network
Super
cringy at the same time. But like
Yeah,
you have
100%.
Superstore, and then you have the added fact of like the toys coming to life. I want that. Fuck your
me
sausage
Sausage
party idea.
No, give me Sausage Party. I
Fuck
want it.
Sausage Party. That movie
Um,
sucks.
Now the second one, and this is where we are going to hopefully dunk on Mitch as long as you guys are in the right mind.
Maybe.
So there is a Buzz Lightyear that comes to life.
Before, okay, yeah, do that first, and then I'll do mine.
There's a Buzz Lightyear that comes to life and throws our Buzz, the real
shit.
Buzz,
Oh,
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
container. And this happens because Buzz was inspecting a new feature on Buzz that was added to
He was
Fake
not
Buzz.
inspecting a feature. He was going to take the
he was
utility belt
looking at
from the Buzz in the display case. There's no
So
other
there's a-
reason for
let
him to
me
go up there,
finish
because there are so
explaining
many other Buzzes on the shelf that he could have looked at if the plan
There-
was just to look.
The Buzz has a utility belt now. And Mitch and I got into an argument while we were watching this. And my stance is that utility belt is fused to Buzz. It
I
is
think-
part of the toy and cannot be removed.
And my
Mitch
stance,
thinks it can.
No, screw you. My stance is that this is a new release of Buzz in which they're trying to drum up sales of the figure, and the way they're selling it is that it comes with a new accessory. This accessory can be removed or done whatever with.
No, because let me tell you something about toy markets. They are selling the new accessory, and you can't use it with your new stuff or your old stuff. You can't use it with old Buzz. You can't attach it to
Then
the old.
why would Buzz go all that way
because
to inspect the utility
He's
belt? instead of
not
just looking at
expecting
one
the
on
utility
shelf?
belt. He's like, oh, they got a new utility belt, but he's not like, oh, I'm gonna remove that.
Yeah.
He
What
wanted
other
to
reason does he have to go to the display case instead of looking at a Buzz on the shelf?
to look at
Because
Buzz.
you don't see the Buzz on the shelf below the waist.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
No, you
can-
don't.
Okay, there's no reason for them to market this new utility belt in a box without showing the utility belt in the
Well,
box.
that's why they have the display case.
Yeah.
100% you can see that utility belt in the box, which proves your point moot. He was up there
Hold
to
on.
steal that damn thing.
No, I have a scene. I have a picture here. You cannot see the utility belt on that wall of Buzzes.
And
Alex,
just
how do you feel about this?
hold on, and just
I mean-
because he goes in there to try to steal it doesn't mean it's detachable.
That's where I'm thinking with this. Like, I think Buzz fully intended to try and steal it, but because of the way toys work and the marketplace of toys, there's no way that thing's coming off. Unless
None
you're
of you
like,
had Power Rangers toys in the 90s then, because those things
did.
came with a bazillion pieces that you could take off and use with different toys and all that thing. 'Cause-
But that's not
like,
a Power
no,
Ranger
they-
little action
they-
figure is
no.
not the same.
But they make toys so that you can be like, oh, I got this Buzz. It's got a utility belt. Maybe Buzz's companion,
Yeah,
I don't know,
but-
Spaceship Jane,
You obviously
wears
didn't.
it for an episode. So then they want it so you can mix and match. That's
But,
how toys work.
You
back
obviously
then.
didn't have
No,
friends
but Max
who were
Steel's,
like.
yes.
You also obviously didn't have friends who were like, I've got the utility belt Buzz. I've got the
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's the whole
Buzz.
thing with Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
Joke's
Yeah,
on
Like,
you.
had
I
this
had
version
no
of-
friends. Let's move on.
No, we're not moving on yet, motherfucker. The last thing that makes it so I dunk on you here is
Dunk.
that you press the belt and it lights up. It is too small to
Yeah.
have a power source on its own. It is hardwired to Buzz's
Also,
battery.
It is
I think-
not hardwired to
I'm
Buzz
pretty sure-
because watch batteries goddamn exist. You know
But
they
that's
want to
too
sell you
tiny.
3. No, they want to sell you multiple. Have you seen the size of some watch batteries? They're like the size
It's
of my pinky.
$19.99.
It doesn't matter. The batteries have been around for decades.
Also,
No,
Again,
dude,
they
it's
want
no.
to sell you multiple batteries that have to go into your
But
thing. So
they-
yes,
wouldn't
you have
they
the
want-
double A's in the back and the watch battery in the belt. It is detachable, 100%
wouldn't-
detachable.
yeah, but wouldn't they want you to
Let us
to
know in
sell
the
you
comments of this
multiple-
video or tweet us if you're listening to the audio version.
Also,
and
I
let
think
us know.
there was
Is
canonically like
Woody's- or is- you know what? I'm gonna do this right now. You know what? You keep talking. I'm gonna put this on Twitter, and we're gonna know by the end of this episode.
Okay, perfect. Also, I want
Are
to
we
say,
gonna
I
go?
think they actually did make the Buzz Lightyear figures with that utility belt. I don't think it was detachable.
Back to
the
the
plot.
store. Things happen. There's a fun scene where
Oh,
what's her face? Tour guide Barbie showing him around, and Mr. Potato Head sitting there. I'm a married spud.
I'm a married spud. I'm a married spud.
And Ham's just like, well, then move out of the way for the rest of us, because Ham is a player who don't give a fuck. Where else was I here? We get a fun Jurassic Park Easter egg in the store where Rex is chasing after the car.
Oh, yeah.
And you get a shot of the rearview mirror that says objects appear close, or objects are closer than they appear, of Rex chasing after the car, which is great. But the toys figure out a way to leave the store with Al, minus their companion Buzz, because he's been replaced by utility belt Buzz, batteries not included.
I mean, they are, 'cause
At
he's
this
a-
point, my sister decided to present us with a dumb joke, which has to be told here because she told me I had to. So, what do you call an average potato?
a spud.
I know the answer. I can't say it, so.
Alex, anything?
I mean, yeah, I would go with the spud. But
Also, I
feel
just
like
wanna point out-
A
Right.
common tater.
All right, thanks for joining us on this
Yeah,
next
I
episode.
think I'm done, guys.
Also, I just want to point out
Okay,
this
at this
Buzz,
okay, go
the
ahead.
Buzz that has the utility belt is called Ultra Buzz Lightyear.
Ultra Buzz Lightyear.
If
yep.
that's not 90s, I don't know what is. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Hold on. We might pass by it, but the best, and if we're ranking some video games, this Toy Story 2 is the best Disney Pixar video game. 100%.
I've got
100%.
it.
yeah, I haven't
we
played
rank
this one either.
I'll be ranking it. Okay, so then TJ and I, where are we ranking it? Are we ranking it number 1?
Number one.
Absolutely.
100%.
Number one.
So-
Number 1 with a bullet, and then we got number 1. We've got Toy Story 2.
And
Number 2, we've got A Bug's Life. All right, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think this is the end of the ranking, so I don't think any of the other
Exactly.
Pixar games have games.
Oh no,
or
Toy
Pixar
Story
movies have
3
games.
has a game.
There's
But-
Incredibles
Monsters Inc.
game.
definitely had a
Yeah, there's
game.
there's a couple
Oh.
Incredibles.
There's two
games.
Incredibles
There's
games.
a couple Incredibles games.
You know,
that
we're
were
bringing
really
it.
good,
We're bringing it
honestly.
back. I'll have a
Yeah.
song and everything by the time we. do
But
the next one.
the Toy Story 2 game is phenomenal, and it honestly it doesn't even make sense in terms of the movie because like you go to Andy's house, you go to a construction site, you go to the backyard, like a backyard, like it is very strange but so good. And I can't grab it because I'm not wearing pants, but of
course you're not.
There's I have it on N64 right above me.
Mhm.
I got my Nintendo 64 to work simply because I was at EGLX, which is a gaming convention in Toronto. The last time it was functional and not COVID times. I found a copy of Toy Story 2 for the 64, and it made me get my 64 working so I could go back and play it.
It's so good. I definitely
It's so good.
Disney, Pixar. I know you're not watching this, but make that Toy Story 2 game. It's real good.
So I think here is the point where the fixers come in to reattach Woody's arm, and we see that the cleaner, I think is how he's referred to in the credits, is Jerry from the award-winning Pixar short Jerry's Game, voiced by a different actor, but it's the exact same design.
Okay.
We even
so it was
see
canonically.
some chess pieces in the box that he has in his case, and the reason behind them using that is they didn't have enough time to animate a new model. They already had this model fully done from that short, so they just reused it for Toy Story 2. And then we get into the most emotional scene in the entire film of Jessie recounting her experiences with Jessie, which I think we can now get into another segment that I'll let Nick run of Rank the Randys.
Rank and Rand. What was the song to it? It was Rank and Randy's. Rank
thought it
and
was-
Randy's. No, it wasn't that. It
I
was
thought it was just Strange Things or Sailing. I thought it was just Sailing.
And we will be ranking no more. Except we will be.
All right, rank the Randy. So we've got
Okay.
Sarah McLachlan's rendition of what was this Randy Newman song called? I
When
forget.
Somebody Loves Me.
When somebody
When somebody
loves me. Thank you. That's my
So good,
rendition.
so good that TJ thought it was an original Sarah McLachlan song.
I
and
thought it
not
was an original
composed by
Sarah
Randy Newman.
McLachlan song 100% too before you told me today.
Yeah, same.
But if we're looking at this list right now, we've got Strange Things at 4, everything Randy Newman did in A Bug's Life at 3, Sailing at 2, and You've Got a Friend of Me at number 1. For me, I'd say number 2.
Yeah. I don't
Anyone
disagree.
want it lower? Or
I think
I
it
do.
probably. I would say 2 as well. Like I don't think you'll ever beat You've Got a Friend in Me.
No.
But this
no,
is
that's the classic.
It's
yeah.
I
this
think
is
Monsters
definitely-
Inc. might come close, but not quite.
I'll have to wait till
Oh,
I, I'll have to
maybe.
wait till we
Yeah, see,
watch
I've
it,
never
'cause
seen
I gotta
it, so-
Oh, maybe.
I don't
Can't believe
remember it offhand.
I'm so excited for our next episode. to
Oh,
see this
dude,
next
I
one.
think
That
I don't
next
think
show.
it'll beat it. I think
really-
it might take the new number 2 slot though.
I think it could definitely bump down number 2. I don't think anything beats. I mean, from a musical perspective, I think it beats it. But if we're talking just pure
Yeah.
nostalgia, it's
Yeah.
hard to one
Yeah.
up.
You got a friend in
trying
me.
to see.
But while you're searching for whatever, this repair scene though, that we just talked
Aesthetic.
about, where
It is aesthetic for sure.
oh, it is. I'm pretty sure that like the end millennial Gen Z generation has this fascination with just pleasing content. So like perfect brushstroke.
the r slash
like-
oddly satisfying.
Yeah, oddly satisfying, or like a ball, something that perfectly fits in a hole. They like this. I think this scene is what started that,
Yeah.
because this scene is so oddly satisfying, especially when he is fixing his like wiping Andy off, or wiping like painting over Andy.
Woody.
Is just so good.
You started
Well, he paints
wiping
over
Andy
on Woody's
off.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, how does Woody just scratch off that paint afterwards? That just seems like it shouldn't be that easy for a toy to scratch off paint on itself. But
Well, the other question is, how does Andy write that small?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Woody's foot's not
he's a
big.
maybe he goes to school for art. Like maybe he's a
If,
calligrapher.
if he's a calligrapher, he should get drop out of that school because he ain't good.
That's what we should look out for. I don't think
he's
they
a
do
child
say
at
it.
that point. We
I
don't
don't
know what his writing's like in the later films.
I'll say I don't think they do say it, but we should look out for what his profession, like his career path
Yeah.
is.
What's he going into in college?
Yeah. We'll look out for that in Toy Story 3.
All right. Well, either way, Al gets everyone packed up. They're going to Japan. Somehow Woody's come to the conclusion that he's never going to see Andy again, and he's okay with going to this museum in Japan, which makes zero sense.
Well, it's not that he's not gonna. It's not that he's not gonna see Andy again. It's that eventually Andy's gonna get sick of him. Why not?
He's going to
just
grow up.
Deal, yeah. Why not just kind of deal with that now instead of later?
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay. We get to a point where the toys have approached Al's apartment, which Buzz refers to as Zurg's fortress, which should have already raised red flags. But they ascend in a really weird scene of Buzz using that utility belt because they were really trying to sell those new Buzz toys.
Mm-hmm.
And he, for whatever reason, has magnets on his belt, which doesn't seem like something you should put into a toy. And then decides to use his anti-grav servos with the battery from the watch battery and
Listen.
not his core batteries because it's not wired in.
It was 99.
And,
It was a different time.
Luckily, they don't fall to their doom. They land on the top of the elevator and end up at Al's apartment, where the toys see Woody being tortured and use T-Rex as a battering ram to slam through the vent.
Use
find out
your
what's
head.
going on
His
in
name
the
is
apartment.
Rex.
Rex?
Thank you
Yeah?
very much, sir.
Whatever. We're in the apartment.
Wait.
Um,
Use your head. But I don't want to use my head. Dude, what a great cutaway. What an
and-
absolutely great
here
cutaway.
Here we get a great scene. All right, here comes Mr. Angry Eyes. And he's taking parachutes in for his eyes. Runs into the
There's
His
so
ear is popping.
this like last half of the movie there is so many bits that are amazing.
Our Buzz catches up with the group and easily reveals that the other imposter Buzz is a toy that is not their Buzz. Not by showing that he has Andy on his shoe or his boot, but by giving this toy the traumatic experience of suffocating him.
It's
By
the
opening his
best
helmet.
callback to the first movie.
It's a callback, but it's also freaking like it's narcissistic and it's just cruel.
Yeah.
But I
It
mean,
is
he
pretty
went
funny,
through the
though.
exact. He went through the
Yeah.
same thing, and he was fine.
Yeah.
You gotta impose a little. Everyone needs
It's
a
like
little
the
trauma.
it's like the overreacting thing. Like it's like, okay, you're overreacting. Like come
I
on.
think the best callback we get here, when Buzz is trying to convince Woody to come back with him, he brings back, "You are a toy.
Yeah.
Be with your kid through
Yeah.
his life. Don't abandon him when you think things are going to get harder for you, just because things are changing and they're not what they were. And eventually, yes, he will grow up, but you get to see
Live.
him through those years."
Exactly.
This is the this is the moment where Buzz really like he gets a full-fledged character and like he really comes into his own of being like his own distinct personality, and you know, him and Woody have the really good back and forth of like, but they're there for each other, and I really did like this is the moment where Buzz fully comes into his own.
I will
and-
say though, Buzz is a bad friend in this scene
Why?
Oh, really?
because Bo Peep gives Buzz a kiss and tells Woody
You're right.
tells him to pass it on. And
he
what does
doesn't.
Buzz do? He doesn't kiss Woody.
You're right.
Bad
You're right.
friend.
You know,
Honestly,
I,
would have solved all their problems way sooner.
I
if
was
he just did it.
questioning. I was questioning you,
Um,
TJ, but you brought it. You brought it.
Yeah.
Through all of this, Woody's turned on the TV to show them Woody's Roundup and like, this is what I was. I'm important to these toys because without me, they're nothing, whatever, which is also very self-centered. But as the toys leave because Woody says he's not coming, we see the TV transition from that into Woody singing, "You've Got a Friend in Me." And if that doesn't pull on your heartstrings, as he comes to the realization that he needs to be with his friend Andy, this movie, man, it's a
It's
lot.
so good.
So he decides that he needs to leave, tries to get Jesse and Bullseye to come with him, and Prospector gets out of his box, revealing himself to be the
Prospector, you're out of
mastermind
your
behind
box.
the TV remote massacre. And I didn't have I couldn't think of another.
It was
word for
good. That was good. I appreciated that.
So this is the most the part that I cannot suspend disbelief here. And do you want to know why? It's not that the toys come to life that bugs me. It's not all of the things in this movie that are super weird, not real. It's the fact that Stinky Pete can get out of his box and not ruin those fucking twist ties. Have you ever tried to open a toy that has those
Yeah.
twist ties?
It's
We have to open the
awful.
box,
Nightmare.
lift it out, untwist them, take the metal out, rip it out. There's no way Stinky Pete could get out without screwing that up.
Well, as somebody
okay.
who worked at a toy store who had to like go through that and like have to untwist some things, it was hard. It was really hard.
We get a fun line from Stinky Pete here, basically saying you're just an old hand-me-down cowboy doll. And earlier in the film, actually, when Al is confronting Andy's mom with the toy and wanting to take him, it's like, no, it's an old family toy. Both of these lines adding credence that Woody is in fact not Andy's toy originally, but a hand-me-down from his father.
Or other mom.
Or other
Doesn't have to be dad.
hand-me-down from a parent. Sorry, hand-me-down from a parent.
Someone who is not in Andy's life anymore.
Someone who's dead.
Yes, something he holds sentimental value for the whole family, not just Andy. So Prospector locks the grate. Woody can't, and the other toys can't get out. So Buzz and them have to find another way to figure this out, which I don't know how they're gonna do it. I think they say you're gonna meet at the car. I don't remember exactly. They go to the elevator because that's where Al's gonna go with the toys, and are confronted by evil Emperor Zurg.
Destroy Buzz Lightyear! Destroy Buzz
Honestly,
Lightyear!
The Lightyear movie we're gonna get with Chris Evans as Lightyear or as Buzz is just gonna be Star Wars animated.
No, it's
All
yeah.
we
have
talked
a
about it.
Vader,
We talked about
we have
it.
a Death Star. Like,
No, we
it's
talked.
just
We
toys. It's
talked
just
about it last time. It's going to be Rogue One with Lightyear. Remember, he makes a throwaway line of like, "I am the only one who has the plans to destroy evil Emperor Zurg." It's literally Rogue One.
I just want to give a shout out to a friend of ours, Joanne,
Uh-huh.
who has replied to my
Nice.
the poll that we put out.
Cut
The
the
poll
stream
is
right
skewed
now.
the wrong way, but
Cut
I
the
think
stream.
she
Cut
has
the stream.
No, don't cut anything. She has a great response to this. So Joanne, thank you for replying to the tweet. And if you're not already, follow us over on Twitter at PressYYZ. She has shared a product image of this toy with
Thank you.
utility belt. And you can see the utility belt in the box. So eat a dick, TJ. And on the box
In the
is
movie,
written
In the
choking
movie,
hazard
though.
with small parts.
Okay,
and
but no,
if there are-
this is an
there are no
assumption.
there are no other removable parts on Buzz. So a box like that saying it is a choking hazard for kids under 3 would suggest that it would have smaller removable parts.
No.
What would be
That's
that
it.
smaller removable part?
No.
Goddamn utility belt.
You
I
throw
don't
that
think
on
so.
anything that has small fingers like
Yeah,
Bud because you
exactly.
don't want to get sued because some
Yeah.
stupid
Well,
3-year-old
and also
eats a
his-
fucking
Yeah,
hand.
and
His
the
his
little-
hand will fall off for sure.
The
Yeah.
little like the
At
thing, that
points.
part probably could come off very
Mhm.
easily. Like any part of him that has the
I
potential.
already
that
retweeted
to
it,
come
so
off.
it's facts. So you guys can suck a
I
dick.
Guess
don't know.
what? I'm logging into the press.
Yo,
Box account and
guess
I'm
what?
retweeting it.
Guess what? I'm editing it, and I'm gonna edit you to say, "I'm Mitch, and I'm a doo-doo head."
Here, you want that? You want that? I'm Mitch, and I'm a doo-doo head.
Wow, you
There
made it
go.
real easy.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where were we? Yeah. Battle with Zurg. Zurg falls to his death off the elevator. The toys end up getting into Al's bag. No.
That was
earlier.
how they got into the apartment.
They get into the elevator but aren't able to get into Al's car. They try to get in and he's too fast or whatever. I don't remember. And Buzz asks Ultra Buzz if he wants to come with him. He's like, no, I'm gonna spend some quality time with my dad. Oh, also, this movie star later is also Buzz's dad. Which
I
we
love
know
that.
is not a
Wait,
damn
we
movie now.
we went over the scene of
It's not a very good scene.
when freaking Zurg gets like pushed off of the elevator and he goes, ah, it's like, I did it. I defeated evil Emperor Zurg.
Oh, yeah,
And
Rex.
then Buzz just, father. And then the cutaway to the when they're off the elevator, it's like, hey Buzz, you want to come back? No thanks. I'm gonna sit here and play ball with my dad. And then he throws
Who's
the
now
ball.
presumably missing a tooth because of the fall that should have destroyed the toy. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
so Al,
good throw, son. I want that movie
Um,
for sure.
So the toys aren't able to get into Al's car, but there is a vacant Pizza Planet van, and that kid who drives that van, so fired.
Well, the
That
worst
car
part-
also causes a number of accidents behind it on that freeway.
Yep. And this also just proves that the police in the town or city where Andy lives,
Yeah.
absolutely useless.
Oh, that's the other thing. We come out of Al's apartment. They weren't in there for more than 20, 30 minutes, right? And there's no signs of car accident on this road. There's no police presence. There's no investigation. Like, how could they clear that many vehicles that quickly?
Also, sorry, just to go back to your choking hazard point, Mitch, the Rex box also has it, and Rex has no movable parts. Suck it!
All right. Either way, they get into the Pizza Planet van. There's some aliens, and they take off after.
You have saved your lives. We are eternally grateful.
So we get a weird chase down the freeway or street or interstate or whatever. I don't know. Your guys' roads down
I think
there are weird.
interstate. I think
Uh,
interstate.
Whatever. We're heading to the highway. The toys make do with whatever it is they're doing in terms of like turning and all that. The aliens end up falling out of the vehicle. Mr. Potato Head saves them. They get pushed back inside, and you saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. Is said.
You have saved
I
our
love-
lives.
I
We are
love that.
eternally
Grateful. And then there's a callback.
At the end of the scene, he
Yeah.
and Mrs. Potato Head adopt said
Yep,
aliens, which is
yep.
great. Where are we? Yeah, so now we're at something we missed, which I really loved, is when they're trying to figure out how to get the car to go. They don't know how a stick shift works, so the aliens are just on the rumor. Use the wand of power.
Use the wand of power.
One thing before we get to the airport, and this one's, I say, my most stretch call out / theory. They pass a sign that says Tri-County Airport. So they live in the Tri-County area. What also takes place in the Tri-County area? Phineas and Ferb. Toy Story is set in the same city / area as Phineas and Ferb.
All right.
Facts.
All right. Fair enough.
We're at the airport. We see Al check the luggage that contains our toys. So the other toys get into an animal carrier that's just left vacant for some reason at the airport. Whatever. And there's a fun
Which-
little bit where
There's a weird problem here with that animal carrier. How is it moving? Because it's using the
this
same
is the same problem we
physics.
had in the first movie
With
with
the-
the cup and the
yeah.
burger
Yeah.
box. There's no holes
Yeah, but
in the
this
bottom.
one's way more egregious though.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the first time, we get a toy interact with it. Well, I mean, first time in public, we get a toy interact with a human of Slinky barking to keep the girl away from the carrier.
Bark.
Bark, 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 bark. Good job. It's like, but you're not supposed to review yourself. What the hell are you doing? Either way, they end up in the luggage sorting
Okay.
area, which if that is I don't know what, okay, TJ, no, you don't know what the back of an airport looks like. That could be accurate. We don't know. If it is just a
If
series of
that's what
conveyors
it
and
looks
belts,
like, that's chaos. Do you see how many frigging
I mean,
luggage lines there are?
Do you know how many
You ever-
luggage, how many bits of
You know how many
luggage are
plane- you know how
lost
many,
every
like,
year?
and you know how many friggin' gates there are in an airport? There has to be that many conveyors.
It is very like
They're all going to
chaotic,
different planes.
chaotically satisfying. Going
Chaos.
back to your point, to the Jerry's thing, where it's just like seeing like all the white and like the all the different lines and stuff. It's like
Conveyors,
chaotically satisfying. And then
Either way, the toys chase after the case that contains Woody and Pal's Buzz ends up with a sticker on his butt to send him to another airport, like a luggage tag, and the sticker just says "butt," which I found oddly satisfying.
I love, you laughed at yourself saying "but."
I did. We're a mature adult laughing at that joke. Either way, they chase after. There's two cases that look identical. They chase after both. Buzz is able to track down the one with the toys in it. A Stinky Pete gets in the way, stops him from taking the toys, and then all the toys end up there. Get Stinky Pete out, throw him into the backpack of a young girl who also has a Barbie. Also, all the Barbies are voiced by Jodie Benson, so this Barbie also voiced by one and the same, who has some interesting artistic choices.
You're gonna love
So
Rebecca.
Stinky Pete's in for good.
She's a
I would
great
love a short
artist.
that just shows us what happened to Stinky Pete after this movie.
Yeah.
Well, also to blind Stinky Pete, they just steal some photographer's equipment. Like,
Yeah, I
they
feel
do.
very bad for
Things go
that
missing in
dude.
airports all the time, and my new theory is that when things go missing in airports,
It's all
it's because
toys.
some stupid kid packed a toy in their suitcase that just decided to fuck shit up.
Yep. 100%.
Either way, they're able to get Woody and Bullseye out of the case, but Jesse ends up on the luggage carrier. So ride like the wind, Bullseye, as Woody and Buzz chase down the plane.
And then
Chase down a moving plane. Or no. First it's the vehicle or the luggage carrier,
Yep.
which they don't go that fast,
I'll
but
say
it's
that
still
kinda makes
preposterous that horse could keep up. And then get to the plane. Woody gets onto the plane, tries to rescue Jesse. Go ahead.
Welcome to Furious 6.
well, this is the question, because at first, like, when we were watching it in the Press YYZ Discord, someone's like, "Oh, it's taxiing." I'm like, "Okay, but it's still pretty fast."
I said
but
that.
no, it's proven that it's not just taxiing, because after they jump off of the plane and onto Bullseye, like a second later, it takes off. So it
Yeah.
had speed.
Yeah.
So is Bullseye like yoked? Like, can he just run real fast? Like, what's the anatomy here, guys?
Yep.
But also, if Bullseye can run
Jack.
that fast, why do they then? Okay, so Woody gets to Jesse. They have to escape the plane. They escape the plane, end up on Bullseye. They all end up back in Andy's room, having stolen the luggage cart and driven it back to Andy's
I
house.
always thought that was really
One,
funny.
why do they need that when Bullseye's is fast? Just have Bullseye go
Bullseye
back and
can't
forth and
carry-
bring all the toys.
I say,
Yeah, can't
Bullseye-
carry all
Back
of
and
them.
forth.
I say,
I thought about that before I said it.
That's a lot of
But
time.
also
wasted, though.
I was gonna say that's not realistic. But also, how again back to the incompetent police in the Tri-County area? How does nobody stop a luggage carrier on the freeway?
I
Yeah.
gotta say also, it might be the 90s, it might be before 9/11, but airports still had security. There's no way that this is going completely unnoticed.
yeah.
Especially
we
it
then-
basically driving itself. No way.
We then get a lovely interlude of Al doing a new commercial, and I don't know why this ended up on television, but he is depressed as all hell because he flew on his own dime
Do you think?
to and from Japan with nothing.
So do you think
For sure.
Al's Toy Barn is like a Toys R Us? Do you think like it's like a local mom and pop? Like, do you think he has like a franchise?
It's named after him, so I would say it's local mom and pop. But he might have been using this as a stepping stone to
to get to a
franchise it,
franchise?
and this just ruined
Yeah.
all his business plans, which is unfortunate.
And then so knowing like kind of production things, like thinking about we can't salvage this, and this is what you get. It's like, all right, let's put it on air, let's do it. Like, I feel like that's what Al's resolve was at that point. It's just like, oh, it's fine, I just need a commercial out there. So yeah, marketing.
Ultimately, we are reunited with Wheezy, who's had his squeaker fixed, who gives one of the most beautiful renditions of "You've Got a Friend in Me" that we will ever see. And that was actually going to be where I did the Pixar ride interlude, but I'm going to save that when we actually get to go to Disney World. But that, my friends, has been Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
But
Good.
do we want to get into the bloopers? I don't think we should create a song for it, because I think it like literally ends
it's
like
the
the
last
next
one.
couple.
I think we have
of-
like one more
Yeah.
movie.
I think we have Incredibles.
Maybe two, yeah, two. Incredibles,
Yeah.
I think, had it as well.
But
But
those
yeah, no,
bloopers
the
are so
the
funny.
bloopers were fantastic, especially
So
like
funny.
like the one where Stinky Pete keeps farting, where
Yeah.
Woody draws on Buzz
Yeah.
Lightyear's
Oh, they're so
helmet.
funny.
The
We'll
Woody-
be
Woody
back
has-
before Andy gets home.
I love the fact. Okay, so we get this whole. Okay, one, Buzz is hot for Jesse. That's clearly obvious through this film and future films. But there's the scene that Jesse recreates Buzz's flying through the air on the toy, the Hot Wheel, and abusing this thing without getting its consent. Opens the door to let Buster out, and Buzz is just sitting on the bed, and involuntarily his wings pop open.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna say what I think you're gonna say?
He just came.
No, TJ's gonna say it.
Oh my god. And in the bloopers it says
And we get a
for
callback
rent.
to that in the outtakes where someone just says, "This space,
space
for
for
rent,"
rent.
rent, which was great.
It's so good.
But that's Toy Story 2.
Well, a lot of it's like bits of Woody messing with Buzz, but there's so many voices. Like I didn't even
Oh, the
think.
potato head ones are great too.
Well,
All the
those
other
are
stuff in his
especially
butt.
great.
Here's the dime. Call me. And
Call
some
me.
food. Or no.
Here's the monkeys. Come on, monkeys.
Or no. And here's some monkey food. Why do I need monkey food?
For the monkeys, of course.
It's like I draw the line,
Draw the
monkeys.
line
Call
at
my
monkeys.
agent.
The one where when you were talking about Wheezy singing the rendition of "You Got a Friend in Me," I immediately thought of when he gets thrown the microphone. He's like, "Oh my god, I think I swallowed my squeaker." It's so funny every single time. The
But I think
bloopers
with
are
that, we can
amazing.
get into rank these.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the cut one.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the
cut
cut.
blooper.
Yeah. Okay, so yes,
Just
in a
address it.
controversial decision, the film's latest 4K UHD digital and Blu-ray re-releases for home market, including that on Disney Plus, quietly removed Stinky Pete's blooper during the end credits, involving him schmoozing with two twin Barbie dolls.
Well, and like
Probably in response to director John Lasseter's inappropriate
Yeah.
behavior towards employees and subsequent forced retirement from Pixar Animation Studios during the #MeToo era. This
Yeah.
blooper was last seen on the home video Blu-ray release in 2015.
Yeah, that's the thing of like, oh man, like this is I don't know who did this. If this was like this, like think about it as like an outtake, like it might have been somebody like, oh, we're putting this on the cutting room floor because this happens and we're trying to be a cry for help, and that's what's scary and shocking, that things like that. I guess unfortunately not shocking. Because of so many things we've seen in recent years, but it's just scary that was a thing that people had to deal with. And it's literally, the line is, I think I can get you a role in Toy Story 3, which is just,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, like
it's really like
it's
it's really unsettling,
blatant.
especially in the context.
Exactly.
I mean, even if it wasn't, but especially the Pixar context.
especially in the
now.
context. Yeah. Because a lot of people, I think a lot of people drew the conclusion to it being like a Harvey Weinstein thing, but like it's just a known thing in the business that's like not talked about. But I think that now that we have kind of been able to get rid of those kinds of people, I think we've made strides for that. But also, yeah, the context, it's like that's not that's not good. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we rank the shorts now?
Let's rank those shorts.
Let's do it.
Rank the shorts. Rank those shorts. We're gonna rank the shorts. We're gonna rank the shorts. There we go. I'll try to remember that next time.
So this short is the Luxo Junior short.
It is.
Where it is the iconic, or now iconic, Luxo lamp from the Pixar opening, playing with a ball. There's a larger lamp, which you assume is a parental figure, and a smaller lamp that's playing with this small ball, and it's knocking around, jumping on it, accidentally deflates it, then jumps away, and then suddenly there's a bigger ball. Like, it's 2 minutes. There's not really much to explain here.
Yeah.
But it produces some of the most iconic imagery in all of Pixar history. It started with Toy Story 2 specifically, of getting the Luxo jump, or Luxo Junior jump, taking out the eye in the Pixar logo. Like, that has lived throughout the years of Pixar Animation Studios and leads to... Where do we put this on the list? So right now we've got Tin Toy at number 2 and Jerry's Game at number 1.
So, for me, just the pure joy of this...
Well, here, let's do it this way. We'll do it by show of hands. Who thinks it's better than Tin Toy?
Wait. Let's let TJ.
It's a discussion podcast.
We'll do the discussion.
Someone's
and then
on a time limit. I'm just trying to. Be
I know.
We
got time. We got time.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're still good.
Yeah. All right.
Just the pure joy that this small 2-minute thing, 2-minute clip brings of like this lamp. You can see like the endurance having with the ball, and just the sadness of it being popped, and then suddenly it literally like wags its tail like a dog when it has the second ball because it's so excited. And these are lamps.
That iconic noise too.
Yeah, these are lamps, and like they created this iconic Pixar imagery. I think this 100%. This is number 1. Jerry's Game's great, and he makes it in this movie. But Pixar would not be Pixar without Luxo.
I think it's the icon problem, right? Like, I think that's the thing is, like, I don't think it's a particularly memorable short. I just think it's iconic. Like, that is the iconic thing from Pixar. And I think that you can rank it from just icon status, but I think as a short, I think Jerry's Game's better.
Let's go around the room.
Yeah.
As always with all of these, now that we're getting into more of the
contentious,
controversial picks, quote unquote. There are only 4 of us here. In the case of a tie, my wife, who's in the other room, graciously making me... Wait, is that on fire? We'll find out in a minute. Graciously making her dinner.
We might lose one host.
So in this case, Luxo Jr. is first off, Luxo Jr. better than Tin Toy. Show of hands.
100%.
Everyone says yes. Keep your hand raised. Raised.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep your hand raised now, if you think Luxo Jr. is better than Jerry's Game.
Oh,
sorry,
fuck
TJ.
you guys.
3-1. TJ's the only one that wanted it above. So as it stands, our list of shorts for Pixar films. At number 3, you have Tin Toy. At number 2, Luxo Jr. And number 1, Jerry's Game.
Also, something that
that's on fire, isn't it? Oh my god. Okay, I gotta go deal with something.
Go do it.
It's time for Carmi's Corner. Carmi's Corner.
Carmi's Corner. No, I know Carmen's probably going to come in here and talk about the fact, but something I forgot to talk about was the fact that is Emily Andy's mom?
I definitely think so, because like she looks like she has different hair, but also Andy's mom has kind of her hair, but she's also older. So
also, I'll intro Carmi's Corner. Carmi's Corner, Carmi's Corner, is something burning? It's Carmi's Corner. Howdy, Carmi.
I thought something was on fire. I just turned around. Like, I'm cooking over there.
Uh-huh.
Okay. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Good.
How about yourself?
I can barely hear you guys for some reason. Oh, that's why.
Mm.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
Test 1 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
How are you doing today, Carmi?
Good. You have to put the onion in now, please. Thank you. I'm good.
Oh, good. Do you have
I'm
any?
Used to shaving Mitch, but yes, I'm
yeah.
good.
It's interesting.
It's
interesting.
weird.
I don't like it.
It's a look.
Yeah, you guys are dealing with it every day.
Yeah.
Or
Also
gonna
true.
have
This is also
every
true.
day.
This is also true. What's I was talking about it, but your conspiracy theory? Do you think Emily is Andy's mom, the
Yeah.
owner of Jesse?
Yeah, I think I brought that up. No, well, I was going to bring that up this time because
Mhm.
well, when we did Toy Story 1, I said I would bring it up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so too.
because like, if like is that could have been a way that they bonded too.
I
the
don't, and
father the mother.
I don't know. I think at least it's one of Andy's relatives.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like I think that I think that it came down to the fact that like Andy's mom knew somebody or Andy's mom was Emily. So
I mean,
yeah.
I think it also, like, if it's a moment of the two of them getting to bond because, she used to have the Jesse and then, uh, like, assuming the father had Woody, that was
Mhm.
probably a moment how they bonded, and then why she was so defensive about it at the beginning during the yard sale as well.
Mhm.
I think it's just kind of I think it's,
Fire's
like,
out.
it's very much like just not confirmed, but it is, like,
Yeah.
I think headcanon wise, I think it just makes so much sense to these characters and why it's so important to Andy, why Woody is so important to Andy is because, it was a connection that he could have with both of his parents.
I agree.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had some technical difficulties. My headphones popped out of the microphone.
Ah, that's what it was.
At all.
Well, it's not,
All right,
nothing but
Kirby.
technical
So-
difficulties,
Toy Story 2. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
So, I liked it. I liked it better than the first one. I'm not really I've never been a big Toy Story fan, as I said in the first Toy Story review. But no, I like this one better. I like the characters more. Bullseye is my favorite. He's my top 2 favorite Toy Story characters. Number 1 being Forky. I love Forky. But
We'll get-
again, that'll come when we do Toy Story 4 in a couple years.
Yeah, yeah.
Our reviews are
Yeah.
never gonna end. No, I like the characters better. I like the story more. I love the Barbie dolls. That's my favorite scene in the movie. Is
It's
when
I'm Malibu
they're
Barbie.
doing the pool party. I love it. Yeah. And I'm very excited. Well, I'm not looking forward to when we do Toy Story 3. Because
Yeah,
that's
I'll
gonna
make me
hit
cry.
really close to home, and I'm not
same.
looking forward to it.
Now,
I
I'm
love
assuming
Toy
you
Story too.
didn't fall asleep to this one like you did Bug's Life?
I did not. I was awake for both times watching it. We watched it early in the week, and then we watched it with everybody in the Discord, and I did not fall asleep at all. And I did
Alright.
fall asleep.
The second time.
No, I wasn't. I was wide awake. I was asleep the first time.
When you-
I missed the last 5 minutes of the.
You tell
of the
Mitch we
first
need
showing.
receipts if
I
he's
can't
call,
hear
if he's
Nick.
trying to call you
Can't
out.
hear you.
Oh.
Nick we can't hear you.
You're muted, Nick.
Oh.
Can't hear you.
Have I been muted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just for the last, like, 20 seconds.
Oh, okay, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. I don't know why that popped up. Yeah, we're gonna need receipts, Mitch. If you're gonna call your wife out, we need receipts. Pixar, it didn't happen, you know.
Yeah.
So now, do you have any conspiracy theories for us?
I do. As
We may have
usual-
touched on one, but
Oh, which one have you touched on already? Sorry, I was in the other room.
the Andy's mom one.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
No, I don't have that one. Because I thought you
Oh,
were going
wow.
anyways. I have 2 actually today.
Mhm.
So I have one being that Wheezy,
Mhm.
our fun-loving penguin friend, is actually the villain in the movie.
What?
Ooh.
Okay, I want to hear this spicy take.
Yeah, please.
1 second. Let me get to my resources. Okay, so this is from cbr.com.
Mhm.
And this says the theory is Wheezy is the villain of Toy Story 2. So it goes, Wheezy was the squeaky toy of whose squeaker was broken, which was made famous of his breathing quality. So that's why he was named like that. there are speculations from fans that Wheezy didn't have the best intentions for Woody, Buzz, or any other of Andy's toys, and some fans believe that the events of Toy Story 2 happened because of Wheezy. So basically, we wouldn't have had Woody going out on the rescue mission, getting Wheezy. Like, they're thinking it was all a plan, charade. I have no idea why, because you would have never seen Al
Right.
at
I say that.
at the place.
I feel like there's some threads there that are like.
yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a stretch, but it definitely I could see it being plausible. Like, he wants to get back at them for like you
forgot about me.
Forgot about
yeah.
me.
Well, he was just jealous because he was like sitting on the shelf for so many months. He just seen how Andy used to play with them, and he's just like, I want to get back. Like, years and years and years of neglect, I guess. I don't know how many years were they even in that house? Because don't they move in?
They
Like,
they
right
moved.
in
I say they
Toy
moved
Story?
in. If we're
So how
thinking
many
the
years
timetable of the films are the timetable, I would say they've been there for what, 4 years at this point.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
now
like
you-
4 years of
Yeah.
like, yeah.
All right, what's your
Jealousy.
second?
Oh, and
Conspiracy.
my second conspiracy theory is that more theory that the toy is Andy's, like Andy's senior.
Oh, his dad's
Because
or
Ally
his
said-
parents?
His parents, family member, whatever. They said that the toy belongs to a family member, or it's an old family toy.
Yeah.
And that she, Andy's mom, doesn't want Al taking the toy, and that it most likely, again, belongs to his dad. Andy didn't see I don't know if you guys actually brought this up. He said that he didn't see a record player for years and years, like a really long time. So that means that he was played with before. And what were you saying, sorry?
So yeah, that means he's seen one in the past.
So he's seen one in the past. So that means, like, is it actually his father? Is
Well,
Woody's original owner his father, and his name's Andy as well? Like, that could be something.
we did touch on this where we were saying that it could be that Woody belonged to someone else, but the question is, why does Woody not remember?
Because he was probably in a toy box.
Because
Or in the
like
attic.
it's proven that the toys know who they are when they come out of the box or come into the factory, because Buzz knows he's a Buzz Lightyear. So Woody should remember Woody's Roundup.
Yeah.
And he should know who Jesse and all that is. So why does he not remember?
Well, does
I'm
Buzz
thinking there.
does Buzz remember the fact that Evil Emperor Zurg and all that?
Well, yeah, because the other
Yeah.
guy, like the father Buzz, literally says, I need to defeat the evil Emperor Zurg." Like,
Yeah, and that was the whole thing
Mm.
with the first movie. He's
That's
basically
true.
like he's
yeah.
yeah.
So they're already preconditioned to know like what
But
they're
also,
based off of.
thinking about it though, it's probably also been years. Like, I mean, like, it's only been like what, 4 years since like Buzz had his awakening, whereas it's probably been like maybe potentially 50 years. You know, since Woody has been quote unquote awakened to the toy sense. So, yeah, I think that there's a possibility, but I think like there's plausible things I could see there.
Hmm.
All right, it looks like Mitch is trying to get
He's trying to
back
wrap
to
it up.
it. So,
Yeah, we do-
any
We
final
are on a bit of a
thoughts?
timer.
No, I'm excited for next week's film. It's Monsters
Yeah.
Inc., everybody.
I'm excited for TJ.
Yeah.
Oh
check
my
it out.
Never seen it.
gosh.
How envious am I
excited.
of you?
We'll see. I've only ever seen Monsters at University, so
No.
that's my
gonna
bar for.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Oh,
he's
don't
gonna,
worry. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna
That's
have
not
My bar.
yeah.
You're gonna have fun with this. Yes,
All right.
I love Monsters Inc. It's my top 3.
Really,
So.
it's up there for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
It's my bottom because I haven't seen it. All right, thank you,
Like, that's
Carmi,
the
for
end of
joining us.
Carmi's
it's Carmi's Corner. Things that burning. It's Carmi's Corner. Carmi's Corner.
Hey, Mitch, you want to come back?
Yeah, fire's out. It's fine.
The fire's out. It's fine. The fire's out. Kami didn't start the fire. It was always turn.
Sign off from now on.
I will say, while Mitch is coming back,
Mm-hmm.
an update before we rank it.
Yeah.
Before we rank, an
I
update
was
on
going
the
to go there
poll.
too because I haven't actually looked at the poll.
So currently is 52% of people voting no, it's not removable,
Yes.
and 47 voting yes. There's a one caveat here, though.
There is, and we need to confirm that.
That I accidentally voted yes because I read the question wrong.
I
thought
That's
you-
not what I meant. You know
Yeah.
what I was looking
No, I don't know what you're going for.
for. A friend of ours, actually, Jordan Deeb, skimmed through the movie, and at 1 hour, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, there is a scene where Fake Buzz is not wearing the belt.
Hold on, I still have the movie open.
1:02:30.
All right,
While
I'm
you
gonna.
do that, I think
yeah.
it's time for us to rank this film. So as it stands, I mean, there's only the third movie, so we've got A Bug's Life at number 2 and Toy Story at number 1. So I think, again, it'll be by vote. Is the easiest way to do it. Who thinks this is a better movie than Bug's Life by show of hands? All right, unanimous. Everyone thinks it's better.
Mhm.
Who thinks this is better than Toy Story? Hands up.
Mm.
Honey, you only vote in the case of a tie.
I don't know. Ah.
Put
You
your
can't
hand
make
up.
Nick choose between his children
Nick?
like this.
Oh, I
Put your
hate
hand
it.
up. Put your hand back up.
Okay.
Keep your hand up if you think this movie is better than the original Toy Story.
Oh, so keep it up. Okay.
Keep it up. Keep it up if it's better than
Come
Toy
on,
Story.
Nick. Come on. You even said. Come on. Come on.
I don't.
Come on.
I hate
And
it.
on the third movie, we have a tie, which I need to bring my wife back in to break this tie.
I think we
Oh.
already know where
Between Toy
Carmen's
Story
gonna
and Toy Story
vote.
2. I heard how this goes. Which,
Oh, are we
which
putting
film ranks higher for you between Toy Story and Toy Story 2?
Toy Story.
And with that,
Yeah,
All right.
What have I
Awesome.
done?
DJ's finally rectified.
What have I done?
wreck them.
Hold on. Also,
Nick,
if
this
you
is
go
all you.
to
This is all your fault, Nick.
if you go to timestamp 1 hour,
I don't
2
necessarily-
minutes and 53 seconds of Toy Story 2.
Listen-
he
30
keeps the
seconds.
belt back on. They
TJ,
literally just forgot to animate it.
TJ.
But you could have taken it off for a bit. And
No,
in
that's
that
that's
case,
an assumption.
My
the
thing
new
is,
ranking is as follows. At number 3, you have A Bug's Life. At number 2, somehow, you have the original Toy Story. And our new number 1, Toy Story 2.
listen,
It
okay,
deserves it.
listen, okay, like. These are all my babies right here, except for Bug's Life. Bug's Life can be number 16, but like Toy Story 2 and 1 are both number 1, 100%. Because the only reason I did it for this is that I think personally, I think that Toy Story 1 is better. I think overall, maybe as a movie, I think Toy Story 2 is
Recency
better.
bias. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it
Recency
is.
bias.
Well,
You
I
haven't
watched
watched it in a
these
month.
movies. I didn't rewatch Toy Story 2 and I rewatched Toy Story 2 before we were doing this. My recency bias is Toy Story 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so like honestly, and it hurts me. Like I think that like TJ brings up some good points, that there's some world building, the fact that the Emily scene is so powerful the way it is, but you bet your ass the next Toy Story will be number 1.
Oh god.
We'll get to that when we do, but in the meantime, thank you for tuning in to this episode of YYZ Video. If you enjoyed what you just heard, be sure to check out Press YYZ everywhere you can find us. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services everywhere. This show also on podcast services everywhere at YYZ Video. Do us a favor. We're 3 movies in. Tweet us your rankings as you're following along with us at home at Press YYZ on Twitter. And if you want to watch along with us every couple of weeks before we record these, we do a watch along with our Discord community of the next film. So that's invite.gg/PressYYZ. And of course, you can find the rest of the crew everywhere on social media. Alex, where are you?
On Instagram, I am blatantly Alex. Twitter, blatantly _Alex. And on Letterboxd, I am Alex is meme.
Nick.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You can find me basically everywhere at Shaka McPain, youtube.com/Shaka McPain as well, and doing some work over at Dual Shockers. Also, go check out YouTube.com/more MC Fixer, where I put some Let's Plays over there, and they're real good.
I don't even want to give TJ the light of day, but I have to apparently. But it's in his contract, so.
You can find me on twitter.com/privatejeebus. That's PVTTJEBUS. And the belt is not detachable.
I hate this. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Mr. Mitch George, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, wherever you may find me.
Can I retract my ranking?
Yeah.
Nope, too late. It's back.
And until next time, TJ has bad takes.
Keep those stories coming.
Wrong.
You got a friend in me.